Welcome to Monday. It's August 30th, 2021. On today's Day Weather Podcast, we're going to talk about the warm and hazy starts of the week and then what's left of Hurricane Nora. Nora was a hurricane over the weekend over southwest Mexico. It's weakened now to a tropical depression, but it's going to bring flash flooding concerns this week to parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming as a resurgence of tropical moisture comes into the region. But it's going to be basically very warm and smoky hazy through Tuesday. The upper level winds are just the right direction to bring smoke and haze out of California into central southern Wyoming and many areas of Colorado and the western high plains. That, though, will ease as we go into the end of the week with this weather pattern change. It's going to be a cooler and unsettled weather pattern later this week and possibly into early next week. There's some disagreement on the long-range weather charts, but it definitely looks like September going to bring some changing weather conditions. So here's today's satellite imagery. You can see two things really standing out. Here's Tropical Storm Ida going up into Mississippi. This system is going to go up like this, then curve just like this, bringing heavy rain and flooding. So Ida is still going to be making news after pounding Louisiana and Mississippi. Then here's what's left of Nora. Nora right here, the remains of this system. Most of the time, these systems will drift out here like this, most of the time. But with the system up here in British Columbia, helping to draw this moisture northward, this moisture, what's left of Nora, will get pushed into the central high plains and Rockies. Our confidence is very high that's going to be happening. So if you look, this is where Nora would be on a map. And over the next 72 to 96 hours, it's going to quickly get entrained in the jet stream flow and brought up to the north. So we're going to show you how things evolve. This circle right here are the remains of Nora. This right here is Ida, right here. This trough of low pressure up in British Columbia is going to slide its way south and east into the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies in the coming days. And as we have discussed, low pressure systems, but especially tropical systems, are always attracted to the closest area of low pressure. So that's why it's going to get drawn like this. So as we go forward, this is for today. This is for Tuesday night into Wednesday. Now, you can't see that circle anymore, but you see this little indentation here and this little indentation here. There's energy in the upper levels right here, and the flow of air. You can see the wind barbs showing that the wind's aloft, bringing that moisture right through the Four Corners area and into here. And this trough is also going to be bringing in a cold front, sweeping into the region. So as we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday, tropical moisture will be working with colder air and instability with that trough of low pressure. And then here's what's left of Ida, bringing flooding rains to this area of the United States here by the middle of the week. This is what the moisture looks like if we were to look at the water vapor. See where the higher amount of water is. You can see the dry air over central and northern California and the Pacific Northwest. But look at this contrast between very moist air here and the dry air to the north. Over time, this is for Tuesday afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, you can see all the green in Mexico and Arizona getting up into here. Then by Wednesday night, about 24 hours later, look at the dark blue and the green and some purple there coming into the Four Corners area, into Colorado, into the High Plains region, then going up into the Northwest Corn Belt. So here's the subtropical moisture. One thing to notice, look at the dividing line between the very wet air and the very dry air. So what tends to happen is you have an edge to the moisture. You've got good rain, good cloud cover, then all of a sudden you have nothing. And that's what will happen with this boundary right here. So one question mark is, how far north will this deeper moisture go? Because if you're not under the deeper moisture, you're just not going to get anything. But let's zoom in a little bit closer. And I want to show you this purple and pink area right here. You're talking 300 to 400% of normal of water in the air for this time of year. Those areas that I just circled include the big three fire areas of last summer: the Mullen Fire, the East Troublesome Fire, the Cameron Peak Fire of southern Wyoming and northern Colorado. But also, notice the deep moisture back down into here as well. That's why we're concerned about flash flooding, especially in the burn scar areas, especially Wednesday and Thursday, because slow-moving, Heavy rain-producing showers and thunderstorms are going to develop under this tropical air mass. Now, this is by Thursday afternoon. You can see by late Thursday into Friday, the axis of the deeper moisture then gets shunted off to the east. So it doesn't stay on top of this region for many days in a row. It just kind of migrates its way on through in this pattern like this. Now, there's still residual moisture, though, left behind. And we'll put an M here for this moisture because this is going to play a role over Labor Day weekend. While the deeper moisture heads off to the east, there's enough moisture left behind that we're going to have some shower and thunderstorm activity to contend with this weekend and early next week. This is the precipitation forecast through Thursday afternoon, and you can see why we're concerned about mountain flash flooding in western and central Colorado and southern Wyoming, where the heavier rain is being predicted, but down into Arizona and New Mexico as well. You know, Arizona is going to end up with a very wet summer compared to a year ago. Speaking of a year ago, you could not buy rain at all a year ago, this time of year in this part of the country. And here we go, the exact opposite this year. Going further, this is Sunday. We've got a little low in central California. And remember that moisture I circled for you? Well, by the end of the week and into the weekend, this low is going to help draw this moisture into the central Rockies. So for the Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk more about the Labor Day weekend as we get closer, but we're probably going to have to contend with some scattered showers and thunderstorms along with some cool temperatures, or let's say slightly cooler than normal. And if you look at the next 10 days, this is the next 10 days added together, it is downright wet in this area right here over the next 10 days. If all of this comes together. So this resurgence of what's left of Nora could really impact our weather. If that moisture from Nora wasn't there, this map would look much, much different. Have yourself a good Monday. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll have an update on Nora, as well as a closer look at the big 3-day weekend coming on up.